We're going to start on page 163. 163. I see your face reactions. Okay. Page 163. For some reason, there's an echo. I think it's yours. Oops. Whoa. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, there you go. If you mute that. Okay. 163. We are talking about quotations. You guys, we've talked about this before. When you have a speaking part in your story or when you're reading a book with a speaking part, there's different ways to do that. So here it just says quotation marks and capitalization. That's what we're reviewing today.
I'll be right back. I need to get something.
Oh, okay. Are you just playing with your emojis, Ashlyn, or do you really have a question?
I have a question.
Okay.
Um, do you think we'll only have reviews for the next couple weeks?
I think so. It's because we're almost done because it goes to week 30 and look, we're on week 28. We're really close. I know. And then we'll finish the grammar and just focus on writing. So, yeah, good question though. All right, so the quotation marks, partay, they indicate words that are spoken, okay? And then the quote is the sentence in quotation marks. And then the attribution, you guys remember that word, attribution? Yeah, okay. That word is what it's the person speaking and then the speaking verb, meaning like the king shouted. So the king is the one who said or shouted it, and it's how he did it. He shouted. So look at this example right here. The princess cried, "My nose has grown too long." So we have the quote right here is what she says, "My nose has grown too long." And then the attribution is before that. It says the princess cried. So we know the princess is speaking and she cried. And it's not like a boo-hoo cry. She's like, "My nose has grown too long." Like she's upset, right? Then this example shows the quote first and then the attribution. "My nose has grown too long. The princess cried." But I want you to notice it's backwards, and that's okay. You can change that up in a story. You can have the attribution first and then the quote, or the quote first and then the attribution. It doesn't matter. You can change it up. But I want you to notice that always the quote has a capital, my. See how it's my has a capital M here and here? Because that's the first thing that she says. So it's always going to be capital. But look at the attribution. If the attribution comes first, there's a capital T. If the attribution comes later, after the quote, there's no capital T here. I wanted to show you that. So it depends on where the attribution is, and that tells us when to capitalize it. This one has the attribution in the middle. So it says, "My nose, the princess cried, has grown too long." So you can see the quote is on either side. They broke it up into two pieces there. And then the attribution's in the middle. But notice my is still capitalized because that's the first part of the sentence that she says, okay? And then the attribution is not. And then the rest of the quote is not because it's finishing the sentence that she started over here. Regardless of where the attribution comes in relation to the quoted sentence, capitalization and punctuation rules remain the same. And here they are. Place quotation marks around the words that are spoken, not the attribution. Capitalize the first word of the quoted sentence, no matter where it is. It's always capital at the beginning. And then capitalize the first word of the attribution only if it begins the sentence, only when it comes first. There you go. Now we're going to talk about these things at the bottom. Jump down here. It says, what are the attributions in the following sentences? So if you know, you can raise your hand. "My nose still looks terrible," she cried. What's the attribution in that sentence? If you know, raise your hand. Ashlyn.
Is it she cried?
Yes, good. The attribution, remember, is who's saying it and how they're saying it. She cried, not the quote, the other part. How about in this one? Raise your hand if you know the attribution. Princess, her father directed, just return the gifts. Okay, Julio, I see a bunch of hands. That's good. Julio, what's the attribution here?
Um, her father directed.
Good. Is that what you were going to say, London and Sawyer? Good. That's right. Her father directed. That's the attribution. Very good. And then a question at the end here. And if you know the answer, you can raise your hand. What part of the quoted sentence must be capitalized? Sawyer.
Um, which one?
What part of the quoted sentence must be capitalized? What do we capitalize in a quoted sentence?
In a quoted sentence, the
Uh-huh.
first and second part?
Just the first word.
One,
There you
oh
go.
yeah. I
Just
was
the
thinking
first
the
word.
other kind.
The other part, like if you split it up in half like this one, you don't need to capitalize after that because it's still part of that sentence, the first sentence. So always capitalize the first word in a quote.
Got
You're
it.
going to treat it just like a sentence. So, okay, good job, you guys. And let's turn the page. And then Ashlyn, can you read the sentence today, please?
The next day, the princess's long nose was worse. She was surprised that the apple didn't help her.
Good. Worse just means it's getting bad. It's just getting poorer and poorer. Okay, so her nose is having big time problems here. 3 articles. Go ahead and find those by yourself. And Lizzie, I see you coming in. We're on page 165. Okay, we need some nouns. So Sawyer, where are the 3 nouns?
I already did everything.
Okay.
Okay. And the 3 nouns is princess,
No, it's not because it has an apostrophe S. So that tells whose it is.
nose,
It's tricky. Nose is a noun.
apple,
Apple is a noun.
and it is day.
Yes, day is a noun. Very good. Yeah, princesses is a little tricky, but because it has that apostrophe S, it's telling whose nose it is, and that makes it an adjective. So not that one for a noun. Pronouns, Julio.
Uh, she
Good,
and her.
good. Sometimes her is an adjective, but in this sentence, there's nothing after that, and it didn't help her, so that makes it a pronoun. Very good. And then London, what about the adjectives? There's 5 of them in here.
Um, princesses.
Good,
Um, next,
good,
long.
good.
Um, didn't.
Not didn't, actually. That's going to be a verb. But what about what was happening to the nose? What's a word that describes the nose? Wait, what did you say?
Worse.
Yes, worse. Good. And then what's a word to describe she?
Surprised.
Yes, surprised is actually an adjective. Very good. Even though it has ed, you might think it's a verb, but it's not because it says she was surprised. So surprised is telling about she. Yes, did you have a question, Sawyer?
Yes, it's about verbs in my
Okay.
grammar. Actually, no, in my writing about the stories, they say the the verbs with the ed at the end make it a weak verb.
Where did you see that?
We were we were doing my the homework, and I was wondering if like wished was a strong verb. So we Googled it just to make sure, and it was a weak verb.
I don't
Wished.
know if I trust Google with that because wished is a strong verb. So sometimes Google isn't always accurate. So a weak verb would be like uh, was or is. Those are those linking verbs. Those
What
aren't
about
strong.
through?
Say it again.
Through.
Through.
Through. Yeah.
Yeah, through is not a verb.
Isn't it a prepositional phrase?
Through, is it on the prepositional list?
Yeah, my grandma made a thing and there's like posters up there and there's prepositions and it says through on it.
There you go. So like if you say through the tunnel, that is a prepositional phrase because there's no verb in there. Through the
But
tunnel.
I mean like I threw something.
Oh, yes, that would be a verb. That's funny. I thought you meant the other through. THREW is like when you throw a ball and you already did it, you threw it. Yes,
Yeah, Google
that,
said that was a Google said that was a strong verb.
that is a strong verb. I agree with that. But I think wished is also a strong verb. So I disagree with Google on that one. Okay, so don't always trust Google. Seriously, sometimes Google isn't always right. Okay, let's go on here. We've got a that clause. Let's see. Hi, Lizzie, by the way. We're on page 165. Are you there? Okay, where is the that clause, Lizzie? I'll have you do that one.
That the apple didn't help her.
Good, yes. That the apple didn't help her. And now let's talk about verbs. That'll be Ashlyn. Where are the verbs at? Where are the action or helping verbs? Look at what's left on here, by the way.
Help.
Good, help is one.
Uh, didn't.
Good, the did part of didn't, yes.
What it was
Good,
and was.
good. I think that's all of them. Let me double check. Yep. Awesome. Okay. And then how about Sawyer? What are the subjects that go with those verbs? There's 3 subjects in here.
Finished everything.
Okay.
The 3 subjects is apple,
Apple is a subject. Yep.
her,
Her, not her, because that's part of the that clause. So remember, only one subject in the clause. So not her. How about she was surprised? Who was surprised?
she was surprised.
She. And then the other verb here was worse. What are they talking about? What was worse?
The nose.
The nose. Good.
I
So
did
that's how you
that.
find the subjects, is you look at the verbs and you ask who or what. And that's going to help you find the subject. Good job. Okay. 2 capitals. We can find those pretty easy by ourselves. An end mark. And then Julio, where does that apostrophe go?
The didn't.
Yes. Between the N and the T right there. Nice. All right. Good job, you guys. Got that done. Go ahead. Your homework will be the next 3 pages like we usually do. So you can set aside the grammar. And you guys wrote a story about the picnic or the tortoise. You got to choose which one. So we're going to have time if you guys want to share your story. I see some hands coming up. That's good. Did you have, oh, you have something to say? Go ahead, Sawyer. Go first.
I didn't finish the picnic or tortoise one because I was working on books and dinosaurs.
Okay, that's okay. You finished that one? Books and
Yeah,
Dinosaurs?
yeah,
Do you want to share that one today?
yeah.
You do? Okay, good.
It's not that good. Just to tell you, there's one sentence I wish I could. I wish I could get it better.
Oh,
But
well, maybe we can help you with that.
okay,
That's a good idea if you want. And then Ashlyn?
I don't have it right here. So
Okay, so hold on.
it was on tablet.
Oh, you have it on the tablet?
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, I haven't finished the Buck and Dinosaur one, but I finished the picnic one.
Okay. Do you want to read the picnic one?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to share one of your stories? Okay, it looks like everybody else, maybe you're still working on it. Okay, so let's have Sawyer can read his first, and then Ashlyn. And then Sawyer, after you read it, read the whole thing, and then you can tell us what sentence you want to change if you want help with that. Okay.
I'll be right back. I have to get my charger.
Okay. Do you want me to pull it up, Sawyer, or do you have it? You said,
Yes,
oh, you
yes,
want me
please.
to. Okay.
It was on tablet. I don't. My tablet's back in the living room.
Got it, got it. Okay, let me see. And this was the Book and Dinosaur one. So let me see. Oh, yep, I found it. Okay. Share my screen. Hold on, let me make it bigger and a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Oh, is it only 2 paragraphs or is it 3?
It's 3. It's right there where it says then.
Oh, let me see if I
Between
can.
Velociraptor and then.
There. Fixed it for you. Okay. When you're ready, go ahead and read it.
Okay. Junior surprisingly has a book about dinosaurs, which he was at a scientist test lab. It was at night. He spotted a dark room. Because the scientists were running some tests, they found some artifacts and found out the book of the universe. When wind came out of the book, instantly dinosaurs pop out of the sky. All of a sudden, the sky is pink. There was a leader while Junior is singing, which they wanted to take over the world. Junior tried to stop them, but he could not stop them because he doesn't know how, and almost got bit by a scarred velociraptor.
Ooh.
Then the 7 Dragon Balls, he powerfully wished that they went back in the book. The dinosaurs who refused to get back in the book. The Wish Dragon had threw them back in. Since the dinosaurs were restrained. Oh man, I forgot that word. Were restrained. Dinosaurs restraining. They didn't fall in the book. Because they pulled tight, they didn't fall in the book. He'll shove the dinosaurs back into the book of the universe.
Oh, of the universe. Nice. I like it. Okay, let's do our reactions. I'll get my thumbs up going. I think it's gonna work, right? Oh yeah, it worked. Yay. Good job, Sawyer. I liked it.
I wished there was a few words I found out right now that I needed fixing. A few words.
Oh,
Didn't you hear it?
okay. I did hear a couple things. Yeah. So tell us the sentence though that you were wanting to kind of change up.
It was the so right now, but the one I really want to fix right now that I just found out was the one that says the dinosaurs restraining. Because I want to say
Okay.
the dinosaurs are restraining, so they didn't fall back. I accidentally deleted it before I turned it in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I sent it back to you so you can fix it later and then turn it back in. And then what was the other sentence you were thinking about?
It was. I'm trying to find it right now. I'm trying to find it. It is. I think it was in the first paragraph.
Mm. Maybe you could look at it and tell us maybe next time because I kind of want to make sure Ashlyn has time to read her story too.
Okay. I'll do it next time.
Okay, that sounds good. Ashlyn, and do you need me to pull up your story too?
Yes, please. I didn't print it.
Okay, and this is the one about the picnic or the tortoise? Okay.
Picnic.
Okay, let me go back here and see if I can find
And
it.
I forgot about the topic clincher thing.
Uh-oh. Okay, so I can send it back to you. And you can fix that later and turn it back in.
Okay.
Do that really quick. Okay. So let me zoom in here. Can you guys, or can you see it, Ashlyn, your story?
Yes.
Okay. And don't forget to read the title. And then
Okay.
you can read it when you're
I
ready.
named it A Fun Party.
Okay.
Okay. Once there were these friends who were having a picnic outside. Though these friends were Julio, Liz, and London. They
Which
knew
one
each
of
other from Mrs. C's writing class.
those?
They were all at Sawyer's pool party because it was his birthday. All of them I forgot to put were in it,
Oh, okay.
munching pizza, lemonade, and cookies. There were there were a lot of trampolines and pools at this fun party. They happily consumed their food. Since there were also people playing volleyball, he they wanted to try to play. All of them played. Then more people came to play. Then a dodo bird, which is an extinct animal, came to play because the dodo bird came, more animals came, even some woolly mammoths.
Ooh, wow.
This is fun, Liz exclaimed. While they were playing, they saw animals that devoured their food. A dog, cat, llama, bees, sloth, and a turtle. They all munched most of the food. Silly animals, London exclaimed. All the food was gone. All the animals who were so full they fell asleep. What a fun party, Julio happily exclaimed.
Yay! I love it. That was so good. We're all in it, you guys. That was
Except for me.
except for you. You're the one telling the story, huh? And I love that part where you said, uh, this is fun, Liz exclaimed. And I totally imagine because you're such an animal person, Lizzie. So I think that's perfect for you. That's cute. I like it. Good job. All right, you guys. I love your stories. They're really, really good. You guys have really learned how to write better stories now. It's exciting to hear that. Okay. So we have a lot to do still. So let's get out in your front pocket. You should have the stuff. Well, actually, you have that big white paper. Remember that big white paper we started last week? This one. And we got it ready. So get that out. But then you also need to get out from the first tab, the source text tab. We need to get out the next lesson. And if you're finished, I think it's only Ashlyn that's finished with her picnic and tortoise story. You can put away in your finished composition the picnic and tortoise one. Everybody else is going to keep it in your front pocket until you're done with it, but we need to get out this one next, okay? This is week 17 and there's 6 pages in here, so get out all 6 pages. And the white page. Yes, Sawyer.
What do we do with these white pages again, and what are they for?
Um, you're talking about this right here, week 17?
No,
Oh,
this.
white page. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. So just get it out and get it ready, and then I'll tell you what it's for. But I want you to make sure to get out week 17 too.
Okay, it might take a while.
That's okay. There's 6 pages, so make sure you get them all out. Pages 139, 141, 143, 145, 147, and 149. And the big white paper. Make sure you close your rings after you take all that out. Don't close your binder, the rings.
I when we were doing picnic and when I took out picnic and tortoises, I think I accidentally took out some tortoises too on week 17.
Oh,
And
make
now I
sure you
just
find it.
now I just pick it up and it's at People of the Desert, one page.
Oh, leave that in there because we're not on that one yet.
I wish this was still the picture one.
I know, those were pretty fun, huh? Yeah, we're done with those now. That was pretty fun. I think we'll do another creative writing maybe. I don't know, but we're gonna work on it more like a report this time. But this is a cool one about tortoises. Okay, when you have week 17 and your white paper, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs down. Well, I don't know how to help you, Sawyer. You're gonna have to look maybe in your
Um,
pocket.
I looked through everything in my front pocket and the tortoises is not there. Only this one page is the only thing I have. The one
Okay, well,
page.
you'll just have to watch then the rest of the stuff. That's your checklist. Okay. So maybe you'll
That's
find
the
it.
only thing. The checklist. That's all I have.
Okay. Try to keep everything together, okay? Next time. Ashlyn, do you have a question?
I didn't make a white paper,
Oh, okay.
but I think I remember how to.
Okay. Well, go ahead and get a page out. It should be in the back. I'll help you do it really quick.
Oh, remember I told you I don't have a big one?
So
I
you can
need.
use a printer paper. Is that what you have? Okay. You're gonna have to just write a lot smaller. Julio?
How many big papers did we have in the beginning?
I don't know. I think
Did
maybe
we have
like
four?
five,
I thought we had four.
maybe
Like,
four. Yeah.
because I have them right here, but I looked through them.
This one we did last week, so you should have one already ready.
Wait. Um, you guys, wait.
Huh?
This is we do it. You guys
Oh,
did more
big.
than one of these big pages?
No, we only did one, Sawyer. So he's just looking ahead at the other pages in the back. We only need one though, so that's all that matters.
Look,
Lizzie,
look,
do you have your stuff ready?
look at me.
London, are you ready? Sawyer's stuck in the rain. Julio, are you ready? Got your stuff ready, Julio?
Um, I don't know where my white paper is.
Uh-oh, it should be in your front pocket, I'm hoping, because that's where you keep everything. And then Ashlyn, well, I could help you do it really quick right now, Julio and Ashlyn, if you need to. You want to do a new one? Okay, so you're gonna, oh, there you go, Ashlyn, hold it up wide like this. And then the first fold is gonna be like this. So it's called a taco fold. That's how we did that one. Yep, Sawyer's got it. Do the first fold like that. Good, Ashlyn, and then hold it up so I can see it. Yep. And then when you lay it down on your table, you're gonna fold it over the middle, past the middle, and then the other side goes on top of that, like that. Okay, so when you fold it, it ends up being a square. That. Okay, so you're gonna fold it past the middle and then the other one on top, and then it looks like a square. Yes, that's good. Yes. Okay, good. And then you open it back up. And I'm gonna have you just copy what I have, okay? On the first box up here on the left, it's gonna be put it, you don't have to put Thursday 9, just ignore that, but just put A with a box and then Roman numeral 1 and 1 through 5. And then do B. And last week we wrote C, but we don't actually need C. So if you have C on your big white paper, you can just put a big X through it. We don't need it, okay? We just need A and B. So you guys, Julio and Ashlyn, you don't even need to write C. Just do A, 1 through 5, and these are all
Wait,
number one.
just put an X through C.
Yeah.
Why did we do it anyway then?
Oh, just because I wanted to, and now we don't need it. So, Julio and Ashley are just going to do Roman numeral 1, 1 through 5, and then B, Roman numeral 1, 1 through 5, and then the fused outline here. Did you get that too, Ashlyn? At the bottom? Okay, good. All right, and the rest of you, I want you to go to page, oh, no, hold on. Don't go there yet. In this box right here under the A, I want you to write the word steps. Everybody's going to write that, steps. And that just means like steps in the process. You're going to write a research paper about tortoises, desert tortoises. And number one, the first thing you need to know is the subject of the paper. And the subject of this paper is equals tortoises. That's the subject. You're writing about tortoises, okay? After you know what your subject is, then you have to figure out what are your topics. What about the tortoises? This is what we're going to read about. You're going to learn things like what they eat and where they live and what their bodies are like. Those are all examples of different topics about tortoises. After you figure out what topics you're going to write about, then you start making your KWOs. So let's just put KWOs. We know about those. We've been doing them all year. And that is when you work on A and B, and we're not going to do C. So it's just A and B. And then after you do A and B, we're going to do the fused outline. Fused outline. And does anybody know what that word fused means? We kind of talked about it last week, but who knows what fused means? What do you think, Sawyer?
That you fuse together?
Fuse together, yes. Like if you're making cookies, you're going to fuse together flour and sugar. Yeah. You mix it together, right? You can't separate it apart.
The dough and the chocolate chips.
Yes, that is the best part. And then if you glue something together, if you glue paper together, you're fusing the paper together. You can't take it apart again, right? It'll rip if you glue paper and take it apart. So fusing means putting it together. You're right about that. And then the last step, number 5, is write paragraph. And you're going to use the fused only to write the paragraph. So these are the steps in writing like a research paper. So we already know what our subject is, so we could put an X through that. We already got that. The next step is to figure out the topics. So let's look at the first article, and it's on page 143. It's called Sleepy Tortoises, so find that next. Sleepy Tortoises, got a cute picture of a tortoise on there. And the first thing I want you to do at the top of this article is put an A with a box around it like that. Sawyer, did you have a question?
Yeah, what was 5 again?
Oh, sorry. 5 is write paragraph.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm going,
Right.
so we have plenty of time.
Pair.
Got it? Okay. So here we've got A, and I want you guys to notice A here and A here, they match. So all the information we get from this article is going to go on that outline, that KWO. So A goes with A. So I'm going to read this. And by the way, our topic is, or our subject is tortoises, and our topic is going to be what kind of tortoise it is. We're going to find out what kind of tortoise it is. Okay. And I want you to underline some interesting facts as I read this. And I'm going to underline some too. Okay. So I'm going to go through this kind of quick because we're running low on time. So it says, it may be hot and dry in the deserts of southwestern United States, but many animals live there, including the desert tortoise. I'm going to underline deserts, southwestern United States. A tortoise, unlike its turtle cousin, lives most of its life on dry land, whereas a turtle spends most of its life in the water. So I'm going to underline that part of the sentence. Lives most of its life on dry land, whereas a turtle spends most of its life in the water. So I'm underlining facts. I'm not underlining the whole sentence anymore. I'm looking for facts that I want to put in my paper. They have round, stumpy feet instead of webbed feet like turtles. I like that. Round, stumpy feet instead of webbed feet like turtles. Tortoises cannot swim. A desert tortoise can actually live without drinking water for an entire year. Whoa, underline that. That is because it gets water from the plants it eats. Some people have desert tortoises as pets. However, they may not be moved across state borders or captured from the wild. They can only be given as a gift from one private owner to another. Tortoise owners should have large fenced yards with lots of shade as well as sunny areas where their tortoises can bask. I kind of like that part. And I skipped some things because remember, we're only picking a few details here. So I'm going to underline this part that talks about they can only be given as a gift from one private owner to another, and that they should have a large fenced yards with lots of shade as well as sunny areas. Because tortoises hibernate, pet owners should have a place for them to sleep from October through February. I'm going to underline the word hibernate and then October through February. I know that's a lot. I kind of went through that kind of fast. It's okay if you're still underlining. But notice I did not underline the whole sentence this time. I'm only looking for little facts. So I underlined where they live in the United States. I underlined that they're on dry land instead of water. They have stumpy feet. They can go a whole year without water. And then I skipped some of this in the middle. And then I talked about how it can be a gift, but you can't, like if you go visit Arizona, you can't bring back a turtle to California. But you can if you have a grandma that lives there that says, "Hey, here you go, Lizzie. Here's a tortoise for you." That's okay if you get it as a gift. Okay. And then they have to have yards of lots of shade and sunny areas, and they hibernate. All right. So now I'm going to transfer these facts onto A on my outline, but I do want to put my topic. I know my topic is desert tortoise. And I want you to write that actually on Roman numeral 1 under B too, because that's our topic. Desert, oops, whoa, I did not spell that right. Tortoise. That's the topic. Let me lighten this so you guys can see that better. There we go. So under A, Roman numeral 1, I have desert tortoise, and under B, Roman numeral 1, I have desert tortoise. But now we're going to focus only on A. One thing I underlined was where they're found, and that was the deserts of southwestern United States. And I'm going to include that word hot. So I'm going to put hot. You guys can copy this. Hot deserts, southwestern. That's a big word. And then I'm just going to put US like that. Hot deserts, southwestern US. The next fact that I underlined was that lives most of its life on dry land, whereas turtle spends most of its life in the water. I think I'm going to just do the first half of that and say most life dry. I'm going to put most life dry, and then I'm just going to kind of draw a line like land. Most life dry land. So desert, you know? I also underlined the part about their feet, which is kind of cool. They have round, stumpy feet, which is cute. You can see in that picture there, they're round, stumpy feet. So I'm going to say round and stumpy. And I'm going to draw a foot. That's a foot, in case you didn't know. And it said not webbed. So I'm going to put webbed. Do you guys know what webbed means on it for a foot? Yeah, it's kind of like a duck foot where there's skin in between the toes. Is that what you were going to say, Julio? Yeah. So not webbed like a T. I'm just going to put T for turtle. So they're round and stumpy feet, not webbed like a turtle. Sawyer?
Maybe you could right there where you circled the T. Is that for tortoise or turtle?
That's for turtle. Yeah, so you're right. That's not, maybe we should put TUR for turtle so we can remember that that's turtle.
I know, because maybe some people would think it was tortoise.
Good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, thank you for that.
And I'm only on one.
I'm going to pick the one about you can have it as a gift from one private owner to another. I'm going to put gift only private. That just means from a friend or from a family member. It can only be given as a gift. Hold on, Ashlyn. And then the last fact I want to put is about how they hibernate. I know I'm going fast, but we're running out of time, so we're catching up here. Hibernate, October, and then an arrow, and February. Okay, Ashlyn, what was your question?
I didn't put the same things as you for like the when you put the gift only private. I did tortoises can't swim instead.
That's fine. Yeah, if you want to change it up, that's okay. I should have told you that in the beginning. Okay, thumbs up when you got that written down. Good, good. I see you guys. Okay, Sawyer, are you still writing?
I'm on two.
Oh my goodness, you're behind. Okay, write a little bit faster.
I'll try.
I got to go on to the next article. So I'll leave this here so you can see that. If you're still writing, you can keep writing. And then if you're done writing, I want you to go on to the next article, which is called, next one is on page.
Remember, I can't do. Remember, I don't have the papers.
Okay. Well, you
So
know,
I'm just copying you.
that's fine. And yeah, oh, that's fine. I know what you mean, the stories. Yeah. So I'll leave it like that. This one, I'm going to put it right here so you can see both. is called the desert tortoise. That one's on page 145. Page 145 called the desert tortoise. Let's put a B on this. This is going to go with B on our outline. Yes, Ashlyn.
Every like month we drive to a gymkhana and we have to go to Mojave and I've seen a desert tortoise before.
Oh, that's so cool. Out there in the wild. That's so
Yeah.
cool. All right, I'm going to read this one. You guys are going to do the same thing. Look for facts, but this time I want you to try to pick different facts. So I don't want you to underline about like their feet or dry land or gift only with somebody private or hibernate. Don't pick the same things, okay? Pick something different in the second article. So, okay, it says desert tortoises live in the Mojave and the Sonoran deserts of Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and California. Well, it is a little bit different, but I already talked about how they're from the southwestern part of the United States, so I'm not going to underline that this time. I'm going to keep going. They are herbivores, meaning they only eat plants such as cactus, primrose, hibiscus, and dandelion. I'm going to underline those plants. Because there is not much water in the desert, these animals get their water mostly from the food they eat. I'm going to keep going. In fact, they can live without drinking water for up to a full year. I don't think we had that part yet. I heard that, but I'm going to underline that. Without drinking water for up to a full year. A female tortoise lays a clutch of 4 to 6 eggs in late summer. I like that fact. I'm going to underline that. After 3 to 4 months, a baby tortoise emerges. I like that too. Adults can grow to 8 to 15 pounds, 9 to 15 inches long, and live up to 80 years. I like that part. Live up to 80 years. Wow. That's a long time. That's like a grandpa age, huh? When they are young, these tortoises are light brown. After they are adults, they turn gray or dark brown. They have stumpy back legs, but their front legs are flat with well-developed muscles so they can dig their burrows or nests. I'm going to underline that part, that they dig their burrows and nests. This is necessary so they can dig a hole in the cool earth because the desert heat can sometimes climb to as high as 140 degrees. I'm going to underline dig hole in cool earth. Desert tortoises will spend only a few hours each day outside of their burrows. They never come out when they hibernate from October through February. And we already got that part, so I'm not going to underline that part. So you might have underlined the same as me. That's fine. And you might have underlined something a little bit different. Sawyer, I can't really take questions right now. I just need you to keep going on this, okay? Because we're out of time. So I'm going to put here my first fact. Next to the regular number 1, I'm going to pick 3 of the plants that they eat. I underlined all of them, but I'm going to pick cactus, primrose, and dandelion here. That's what I'm going to put for my number 1. Cactus, primrose, and dandelion. Okay, and then it says, I underlined the part about drinking water. They can live without water for up to a full year. So I'm going to put live, and then I'm going to put water and cross it out. And then 1 year. Are you writing this down, Sawyer? Okay, good. And then I like the part about the female tortoise and they lay a clutch. So I'm going to put female. I don't need to put tortoise because I know I'm talking about tortoise. And I'm going to put clutch, that word clutch, and I'm going to put it in quotes like they did in the paper here. That's what that's called. Instead of a nest of eggs, it's a clutch. That's what they're called, I guess, for tortoises. So clutch. And it says 4 to 6 eggs. So I'm just going to do 4-6 eggs. After 3 to 4 months, a baby emerges. So I'm going to put 3 to 4 months babies. Or does it say baby? A baby. I'm just going to put baby and then emerges. That means comes out of the egg. And then I'm going to put dig, burrow, cool. All right. Dig, burrow, cool. Okay, give me a thumbs up when you're done writing the outline for B. Oh, good. Thank you, Lizzie. Good, Ashlyn. I know I'm going kind of fast. That's okay. You guys can handle it. You know how to do all this stuff. I'm just showing you because I want to show you the fused part. This is the part where it's pretty cool. We're going to fuse these two together into one outline. I'm going to show you how to do that. Ashlyn?
Can I put like, cause I did the desert heat can sometimes climb to as high as 140 degrees. Can I put the number in it so I don't have to write
Yeah.
100?
Oh yeah, you can. That, and then you don't have to count that because numbers are free. Okay, so here's the part I really want to show you. If you're still writing, it's okay, keep writing. This is where we're going to fuse these two outlines together and we're going to mix them up. We know that the topic is desert tortoise, so I am going to copy that right here next to the Roman numeral 1. Go ahead and put desert tortoise. That's your topic. That's what we're writing about. And we know that they live in the desert, right? And I think I'm going to kind of combine right here because we have space for one more word here. I want to add where they are. And up here, we put southwestern US. So I'm going to put southwestern US. And I'm going to draw a line from that to that one here. Okay. Do you see how I did that? I could try to zoom out a little bit, but right here where I have US under A, I'm drawing a line all the way to this one because I'm going to add that fact right here. Okay. And then the next thing, and by the way, what we're doing is mixing A's and B's. We're mixing these up so you can decide what order you want to put this in. I'm just going to give you an example. So I like this part about how they can live because they're in the desert. They can live without water for 1 year. I think I want to put that part next. So I'm going to draw a line from this 2 under B all the way down here to number 1 at the fused. And I'm going to copy that. I have live, comma, water, 1 and year. Do you see how I just copied that right there? So the fused outline is a mix of A and B, and we didn't even do C, so we're not worried about C. We're just focusing on A and B. We're mixing up A and B in the fused. So does anybody have an idea of which one from A and B, what fact do you want to put next here for this part, regular number 2? What do you think, Ashlyn?
I'm going to put like they hibernate from October to February.
Okay. Hibernate October to February. Let's move that. If you like that fact next, let's move that down here to 2. And then we're going to copy it. Hibernate October through February. You see how we have a couple from A, and so far we only have one from B. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because I want you to do the rest of this for homework. So here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to mix up A and B. We're going to fuse them, just like we talked about earlier. We're going to mix up the facts and put them here on the fused outline. So you're going to keep going with 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, but it's going to be, you're going to copy the facts from up here, mix them up, but you're going to copy them here. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, Ashlyn, do you have a question?
I have to write all 7 of the sentences,
Yes, and
but
you know
not
what?
any of those.
You have 10 because we have 5 and 5, right? So some of these facts you're not going to use in the fused, okay? But yes, you're going to copy your favorites from A and B and mix them up down here. And then I want you guys to put a big circle around fused like that. That's what you use for your paragraph. Hold on, Sawyer. You don't need, after you copy all this down here, you don't need to use A and B anymore. You're only going to use the fused. And so your homework is to finish the fused and only write one paragraph. And you're going to use the fused outline to write one paragraph. That makes sense? You're
Yeah, I was
mixing
gonna
them
ask.
up. Okay,
I
what
was
are your
gonna.
questions?
I was gonna ask that same question right now.
Yeah, so you just need the fused. That's it. You don't, after you finish the fused, you don't need A and B anymore. You're going to only use this one to write your paragraph, only this one. But see how we're mixing them up in here. That's the whole point of the fused outline. Okay, Sawyer, did you have another question?
Two things.
Okay.
How am I supposed to do this? I
Um,
don't have the papers to
the good news is we finished. You don't need the papers anymore.
Yeah, I
All you
finished
need is
everything.
this right here. And you have
Mhm.
that, right? You wrote all that down.
Yeah.
So that's all you need. Don't worry about the paper anymore.
And the second thing is my identical twin, as they say. He's my friend.
Oh,
He
yeah.
looks exactly like me. That's why kind of like identical twins.
That's
Um,
Wait, hold on. Before we go there, I want to make sure everybody knows what you're doing for homework, okay? So make sure you mix up A and B down here. Just keep bringing down those facts, copying them here. Some of them you're not going to copy because you have 10 facts and you only need 7. So there's 3 of them you're not going to use. But you're going to mix up A and B till you get to 7 and then use this to write your paragraph. Okay, any questions before you go?
my
Any questions
identical
on
twin
this?
saw a desert has had a
Hold
dent
on,
a
hold on,
desert.
Claire. Hold on. London, do you have any questions? No? Okay. I saw Julio shaking your head. All right, that's your homework this week. Finish copying these down here, and you're not going to use all of them. Pick your favorites and then write your paragraph. And you'll see on your checklist you only have one paragraph to do. All right. I'm going to leave that there if you're still writing. And then Sawyer, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Did you want to say something else? Because we're done now.
Yes. My identical twin has had a desert tortoise, one of
Oh,
those
cool.
big ones.
Wow. A
That
big one.
there was a picture on him in his room, him riding it.
Oh, wow. That's really big. That's pretty cool.
He's a that, but that's when he was a little younger.
Ah. And then Ashlyn, did you want to say something?
Our hairdresser, we just go to their house, and then they they had a snake and a turtle. They just found them in their property, so they just decided to take it.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually, I think their neighbors dumped them, so they gave it to. So then they found it, so they kept it, and then we were playing with it, and it was really smart, and it was a desert tortoise.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. All right, you guys, we're done with class. So, is there anybody still writing down the outline, or are you guys, it looks like everybody's good. Okay. So it's time to go. You guys are free to go, and I will see you next week.